On my 18th birthday, my sister gave me a gift of adulthood by drugging her best friend and sending it to my bed. I was forced to be the antidote. After waking up, Bai Ningbing coldly agreed to marry me. But soon after giving birth to the child, she went abroad. My daughter and I waited for 3 years before she finally came back. When I went to the airport to pick her up, Fang Yuan, who was holding her hand with my daughter, could not accept the betrayal and ran away with red eyes. But she was accidentally hit by a drunk driver and died on the spot. Since then, Bai Ningbing has never smiled again. She no longer went abroad and stayed by my daughter and me day and night. I thought that she had finally gotten her reward. Unexpectedly, on my daughter's 3rd birthday, the house caught fire accidentally. My first reaction was to save Bai Ningbing and my daughter. However, he looked indifferent, locked the door, and his eyes were full of coldness and hatred. The fire spread to my daughter and me, and I realized that Bai Ningbing hated us. I opened my eyes and was reborn on the day when Bai Ningbing was drugged. I heard uncomfortable gasps which made me shudder. I looked in the direction of the sound. Bai Ningbing, who was drugged, had a flushed face and several buttons on her dress were unbuttoned. She was about to lose her mind. "He Chong, come here," he called me with a dazed look in his eyes and a hoarse voice. If it was in the previous life, I would have gone to check on him with heartache, but now I just stepped back in fear. In the previous life, it was because of this night that Bai Ningbing and I were both drugged and had sex. Afterwards, he coldly agreed to marry me, but he has been abroad for many years and does not care about the life and death of my daughter and me. But later I found out that he went abroad because his white moonlight Fang Yuan was abroad, and he returned to China to give Fang Yuan an explanation. But unexpectedly, his daughter called her mother, and Fang Yuan was so shocked that she ran out, and ended up in a car accident and died on the spot. Bai Ningbing hated me and my daughter, and now the mistake has not been made. As long as it is not me who is his antidote tonight, my daughter and I will not face such a tragic fate. Thinking of this, I almost dialed Fang Yuan's phone without hesitation. "Is it Fang Yuan? Come to Hotel 32 quickly." I held the door tightly, isolating the scalding Bai Ningbing inside the door. At the same time, my body gradually began to heat up. Thinking of my previous life, my sister felt sorry for my secret love, directly drugged her best friend Bai Ningbing, and sent her to my bed in the hotel. "He Chong, you and Bai Ningbing are obviously in love and have a good impression of each other, but you are so hesitant that it makes people anxious. I'll just help you and let Bai Ningbing become my sister-in-law as soon as possible." "I can't believe it. Sister, are you going to kill me? Let me go." My sister smiled and pushed me into Bai Ningbing's arms. "I also drugged your wine. Enjoy it. After this night, you will thank your sister." I couldn't help but smile bitterly, but sister, the person Bai Ningbing likes is not me at all. After waiting for more than 10 minutes, Fang Yuan rushed to the scene with a pale face. He looked at me, Kachong, with a suspicious face. "Everyone in the circle knows that you like Ningbing. Aren't you having dinner with your sister tonight? Why would you be drugged? Or are you playing some tricks again?" Fang Yuan thought it was a trick, but when she saw that the person in the room was indeed Bai Ningbing, she frowned. I pushed her into the room while explaining. There was no time to say so much. "Mr. Fang, I know you and Bai Ningbing are in love. You don't want to take advantage of other men tonight. Now he needs you and can't hold on any longer. I don't know where my sister got the medicine from. The effect is very strong. In the previous life, when Bai Ningbing was still sane, he bit his tongue to control himself. He broke several finger bones and finally couldn't hold it back. But now Fang Yuan is here, he shouldn't have to hold it back anymore." There was a sudden gasp in the room. The veins on Bai Ningbing's forehead and neck bulged, which made Fang Yuan stunned. His face turned red. He raised his head and straightened his clothes and looked back at me. "You are sensible and didn't take advantage of Ningbing. Now that I'm here, you should give up." "Oh no, why is your face so red?" I shook my head and urged him to go in quickly. The moment Bai Ningbing pulled off Fang Yuan's belt, I closed my eyes and closed the door. Soon indescribable sounds came from inside, and each sound was like a knife to tear my heart apart. I couldn't listen anymore, and ran out of the hotel without looking back. The effect of the medicine in my body began to take effect. In my previous life, I couldn't push Bai Ningbing away. Half of the reason was that this would make me completely lose my mind. While my mind was still there, I stopped at the door of a high-end club. I broke in without hesitation. The young and immature staff smiled and asked me, "Sir, what service do you need?" I patted my unclear head. I needed a woman. She was slightly stunned, took me to the private room, and then went to call someone. I don't know how long I waited. The door was pushed open, and a woman in a black suit walked in. Before she opened her mouth, I hooked her neck and kissed her lips. I was drugged. "Help me." The woman was stunned. She seemed to frown and hold my hand, trying to push me away. "You want money, right? Any amount is fine." As I said that, I took out a bank card from my pocket, put it in her hand, and then untied her belt. In a trance, I seemed to hear the woman calling my name. "He Chong, don't mess around. It's so noisy." I frowned and kissed her lips. Sure enough, there was no sound. No wonder the high-end clubs here are so popular. The girl not only has a good-looking face, but also knows how to play hard to get. Finally, I heard a sigh from above my head. Since you took the initiative, don't regret it. Then she turned over and pressed me under her, kissing me with a storm. It was a beautiful night. Before dawn the day after tomorrow, I woke up with a start. It took me a while to react before I realized that I had slept with a strange girl. The girl was still asleep. I quietly put on my clothes and slipped away. When I went out, I passed the huge floor-to-ceiling glass door of the commercial street and found that my clothes were torn and there were all kinds of unsightly bright red marks on my neck. While my sister was still asleep, I quickly touched her. Go home and cover your front feet with concealer. As soon as you step into the door, an indifferent voice comes from above your head. Where did you go last night? Bai Ningbing leaned against the door with his arms folded and looked at me. I was stunned. Didn't he indulge himself with Fang Yuan in the hotel? There was still a circle of eye-catching kiss marks on his neck. His eyes were lazy and indifferent. I lowered my head guiltily. I thought that after what happened last night, Bai Ningbing and I would completely cut off our relationship, and I would only treat her as my sister in the future. I went out for a stroll. Why did you come back so soon? Bai Ningbing's new villa is being renovated. Because of my sister, he has been staying at my house for the past few months. I looked around. Where is Mr. Fang? He didn't come back with you. The next second, Bai Ningbing's eyes fell on me gloomily. Hichong, you came back yesterday. Where did one go? Who did these? I realized then that he was talking about the kiss marks on my neck. I subconsciously pulled up my collar to cover them. I wasn't bitten by mosquitoes. Bai Ningbing sneered. Don't think I don't know. In addition to drugging me last night, your sister also drugged me in your wine. How come I didn't sleep with your sister last night and ran out to sleep with another woman? Kachong, do you think you deliberately called Fang Yuan over last night and disappeared for a night so that I would worry? You played the trick of playing hard to get wrong. I was confused. Why was Bai Ningbing so angry? Didn't I help him in Fang Yuan? I realized then that I felt very sad. It turned out that he thought that I was playing hard to get with him by helping him last night. He was indifferent and cold. The voice continued to come. As you can see, Fang Yuan and I were together last night and I will marry him. I have a piece of advice. No matter what tricks you want to play, I hope you can put them away. I lowered my eyes and smiled softly. Okay. I'm sorry about my sister drugging you, but I really don't like you anymore. Bai Ningbing raised her eyes and looked at me deeply. She obviously didn't want to believe it, and her brows were furrowed. People in this small circle used to know that I had a crush on Bai Ningbing, but I refused to fall in love, rejected countless blind dates, and cut off all peach blossoms for her, but now I know I was wrong. I don't want to watch my daughter being born in expectation, and dying in despair like in my last life. Bai Ningbing was about to speak when I suddenly heard my sister's horrified cry from behind. Cry, what the hell, how come there is an extra person in the house? He rushed over, pointing at the room upstairs with a trembling hand. Fang Yuan, when did he sleep in our house? Bai Ningbing looked serious, closed the door, and explained calmly that I brought him here last night. He was tired after a night. He was not used to staying in a hotel. I brought him back to have a good rest. What? My sister looked at him with a complicated expression, then looked at me. You didn't have it last night? Finally, his eyes fell on our necks suspiciously. I hurriedly fled. Sister, I'll go back to sleep first. I quickly fled to the room, closed the door, and heard their voices coming from time to time. It was probably my sister questioning Bai Ningbing what was going on. It was time for lunch at noon. My sister knocked on the door and called me to go out for lunch, but I didn't get up. Sister, I'm not hungry yet. You guys eat. Soon Fang Yuan's laughter came from outside. I'll call Hichong to get up. Speaking of which, Ningbing and I got together so quickly last night thanks to Hichong. The door was knocked softly again. Hichong, I'm Fang Yuan, just give me a favor and come out to have lunch together. My parents and sister have taught me to be polite since I was a child, and to treat guests with respect. I had no choice but to bite the bullet and open the door. At the dinner table, Bai Ningbing said nothing, but gently picked up food for Fang Yuan. In just a few minutes, the bowl in front of him was piled up like a small mountain. Ningbing and Hichong were still there. Hichong was already in a bad mood because of what happened last night. He would be jealous again soon. Bai Ningbing looked up at me coldly. Why is he jealous? You are the one I want to marry. Like yeah, I regard him as my younger brother. I said nothing and ate the rice in the bowl quietly, as if it were perfect. My sister opened her mouth but hesitated to speak and sighed repeatedly. There were food residues at the corner of Fang Yuan's mouth. Bai Ningbing wiped it off for him personally, but Fang Yuan stopped him with a smile. Ningbing, do I want you to wipe it clean for me with your mouth? He took the initiative to move his face over. Bai Ningbing was stunned for a moment, then smiled and kissed him. Fang Yuan was proud and turned to look at me. Hichong, don't mind it. The militia has been enjoying it since that night. You are still a single guy. You will understand when you have a girlfriend in the future. The meal was tasteless. I put down the bowl. Chopsticks, I'm full. You guys eat slowly. No matter how stupid my sister is, she knows about the two of them. After the meal, she slapped her thigh in anger. This little fool, why did he give up such a good opportunity last night to Fang Yuan? That lowly man for nothing? Bai Ningbing couldn't see that he was scheming, can't I see it? They showed their affection at the dinner table today just to deliberately irritate you. I have already said that you and Bai Ningbing have a good impression of each other. I interrupted his sister and told her not to say such things in the future. My sister looked at me in disbelief and I smiled. I don't like Bai Ningbing anymore. Sister, please arrange a blind date for me. My sister really still loves me. She confirmed again and again that I was not joking and breathed a sigh of relief. My good brother, you have finally come to terms with it. I advise you not to hang yourself on a tree. Although Bai Ningbing is an excellent woman, there are many who are better than her. I will contact Lu Ruyan, the daughter of the Lu family, for you. She is the marriage partner you rejected before. Her family business is much bigger than that of the Bai family. She is also very beautiful. Like you, she has never been in a relationship. When the time comes, you can meet her. You may fall in love with her. I obediently took out my phone and added the contact information. I thought it would be difficult to give up Bai Ningbing, but when I really gave up, I found that it was just like that. This time, I can finally change the fate of my daughter and me. Ningbing, please help me put the suitcase back to your room. Fang Yuan's voice came from outside with a smile. After he finished speaking, he turned to look at me. Chang Ningbing's villa is still the decoration was not ready yet, and he wanted to see me all the time, so I had to move in and live with him for a few days. You shouldn't mind, right? I shook my head. Of course I didn't mind. I watched Bai Ningbing help her carry the luggage, busying around, and smiled self-deprecatingly, thinking of my previous life. After that one-night stand, Bai Ningbing was afraid that Fang Yuan would be sad, so he sent her abroad in the name of studying abroad. After a hasty wedding, he gave birth to a daughter, Tian, and threw her to me. He also lived abroad all year round. I raised my daughter alone, waiting for him to come back, but when he showed up at the airport hand in hand with Fang Yuan, his eyes were always cold and indifferent when he looked at me, unlike now when they are always warm on Fang Yuan. I just turned around and suddenly I bumped into something head-on. Fang Yuan was holding the basin of water soaked myself, but I burst into a scream. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's face changed, and they rushed over to protect Fang Yuan and looked at me vigilantly. Fang Yuan hid in his arms and cried. Chang, if you don't want me to live in, you can just say it. This dress is a gift from Bai Ningbing just given me. It's very expensive and I cherish it. Why did you have to bump into me on purpose and dirty it? I was at a loss to explain. I didn't mean it, that's enough. Bai Ningbing interrupted Chang in a harsh voice. I said, don't play these tricks. If you don't like Fang Yuan to live in, we will move out the day after tomorrow. Then he didn't give me a chance to explain, and helped Fang Yuan to go back to change clothes in an intimate posture. But Fang Yuan hooked his neck and showed me with a smug smile. Fang Yuan was wearing the suit that I treasured the most. When he came out, my face turned pale. Bai Ningbing said confidently, anyway, this suit has never been worn since I gave it to you, so why not give it to Fang Yuan first? I smiled bitterly. I didn't wear it because I couldn't bear to. During all these years of knowing each other, Bai Ningbing only gave me this one birthday present, and after knowing that I had a crush on him, he never gave me anything again. So this expensive suit was hidden by me like a treasure. But now I nodded lightly, okay, I'll give it to him as a gift. In the next few days, Fang Yuan pestered Bai Ningbing every day to show his affection, as if he was doing it on purpose for me to see. Bai Ningbing knelt down in person to propose to me. I was restless that day and had a car accident. Although it's not serious, but he was still sent to the hospital by passers-by. They came to see me in a group. Fang Yuan pretended to be wronged and blamed herself, saying, is it because we are engaged that Chang couldn't get over it and was hit by a car on purpose? It's all my fault. If I hadn't insisted on you proposing to me, Chang wouldn't have gotten into trouble. He blamed himself. Bai Ningbing felt distressed and comforted her. It has nothing to do with you, dear. The milk tea I ordered for you is here. Go get it first. As soon as Fang Yuan left, Bai Ningbing frowned and accused me, Chang. Do you have to make trouble on the day when Fang Yuan and I proposed to you? Do you really want to break me up? I told you a long time ago that all your thoughts should be put away. There is no way we can have a result. I smiled faintly. Sister Bai, you misunderstood. I only regard you as a sister. And you've thought too much. My car accident has nothing to do with you. Bai Ningbing didn't believe it. He pondered and said, I'm going to marry Fang Yuan soon. Chang, if you can be more open-minded, you should find a girlfriend and give up your thoughts on me. I nodded. I already have a girlfriend. If not, then no. There's no need for you to lie. Bai Ningbing's eyes fell on my face. He just felt inexplicably irritated and couldn't breathe for a moment. But at this moment, Fang Yuan pushed the door in with milk tea and handed it to me with a smile. The milk tea, but deliberately showed off the diamond ring on her ring finger to me. Chang, don't waste your energy. No matter what you do, it will only make Ningbing more disgusted. Do you see that Bai Ningbing only has me in his heart? The diamond ring was put on me by her own hands. Give up on this idea. Before leaving, Bai Ningbing looked at me deeply. It doesn't matter if you don't have a girlfriend. You are Yeya's sister and also my sister. As long as you don't have those messy thoughts, I can support you for the rest of your life. Hearing this, Fang Yuan cast a resentful look at me, but pretended to be understanding. Yes, you can also treat me like your own brother. Ningbin and I will take care of you. But I didn't lie, I really have a girlfriend. My eyes fell softly on the gardenia on the bedside table. It was given by my girlfriend Lu Ruyan. At first, I just agreed to my sister to try the blind date first, but when I got to the coffee shop, I found out that Lu Ruyan was the girl I slept with that night. I blushed when I saw her, but unexpectedly, she pushed me against the wall with a chuckle, as if she expected it. Are you shy? Weren't you very proactive when we met last time? I felt so embarrassed and didn't want to contact him again. But I didn't expect to be followed by a hooligan when I returned home at night. It was Lu Ruyan who showed up. I punched the other person a few times and sent me home. On the way I asked him, "Aren't you a staff member of the club?" He drove and looked straight ahead, raised his eyebrows and said, "Who told you that I am?" It was obviously you who was impatient that day and flirted with the girl at random. Fortunately, I went to the club to inspect that day. Otherwise I don't know which woman was harmed by you. I wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into, but he held my hand and put it in his arms. "Chong, I like you for a long time, be my boyfriend." Even the car accident that time was because I heard Lu Ruyan propose to me and I lost my focus and didn't look at the road. It was a small accident. Every time I think of his face, a faint joy emerges in my heart. After being discharged from the hospital, I go out early and come back late. It was already past 11 o'clock in the evening when I came back. Bai Ningbing was standing at the door in casual clothes. He had a complicated expression on his face. "Chong, you have been deliberately avoiding me recently." I was stunned and smiled. "You think too much," but Bai Ningbing blocked my way, frowned and grabbed my wrist. "It's better that I think too much. Fang Yuan and I's wedding is coming soon. I advise you not to play any tricks." I broke free from his hand with a sincere face, wishing you a happy marriage. Bai Ningbing's expression finally eased, but his eyes fell on my neck, and his face changed again and again. "Whose neck is yours?" "It's not a mosquito bite again. That's the mark." Lu Ruyan insisted on leaving during the day, saying that she wanted to declare her sovereignty. I was afraid of causing misunderstanding before, but now I have a girlfriend openly and honestly. There is no need to hide it. "It has nothing to do with you." I turned and left, but I didn't notice that Fang Yuan hiding in the corner had a pale face, and a hint of jealousy flashed in the corner of his eyes. "My dear, I'll take you to a good place." I received a message from Lu Ruyan that day, and was about to go out happily to keep a date, when I saw Fang Yuan playing with my PS, Kachong and Bai Ningbing's voices came. I pretended not to hear it, but when I came back at night, Bai Ningbing was furious and kicked open the door of my room. He slapped me in the face with uncontrollable anger on his face. "Kachong, how can you be so vicious?" "Fang Yuan, just did he play with your PS5? You are so jealous that you had to tamper with the PS5 and hurt him. He is in the hospital now. Are you satisfied?" "What PS5? I was stunned by his slap. The screen of my phone was still on. The photo of Lu Ruyan and I taken during the day caught Bai Ningbing's eyes. He glanced at it and his face became even gloomier. He threw my phone to the ground and smashed it to pieces. "At this time, do you think it is useful to fool me with such photos? Chong, you have such superb acting skills. You think you can get rid of the suspicion of hurting Fang Yuan by just finding a girlfriend to help you act, right? You are dreaming." He ignored my explanation and took me to the room to watch PS. The power cord of PS5 was broken. Fang Yuan insisted that I cut it on purpose. "Yes, Bai Ningbing, I dare not continue living in Chong's house. I know he has a crush on me and I thought he had really given up. I didn't expect that he was waiting for me here. Did he think that if he fell to his death I could marry you legitimately, and he could be the groom at the wedding? Woo, I lost. Chong is so scheming, I can't win against him. I give up on you, okay? I will move out as soon as I am discharged from the hospital." Fang Yuan was like a victim, crying heartbroken. Bai Ningbing's eyes were full of anger. "Move out now. Chong, I gave you a chance but you didn't know the bottom line again and again. You hurt Fang Yuan like this. People have to pay the price for their mistakes." Bai Ningbing winked, and suddenly a dozen bodyguards appeared behind him. When they surrounded me, I had a bad feeling. "What are you going to do to me? I told you I didn't cut the PS5 cable." Bai Ningbing became even angrier, with a sneer on his face. "You and your brother are the only two in the He family. Yeya would definitely not do such a thing. If he didn't cut it, could it be that Fang Yuan cut it off and hurt himself?" I looked up suddenly. This is really possible. After all, it's not the first time that I pretended to be weak after splashing water last time. "Bai Ningbing, I have no reason to do such a thing." Before she finished speaking, Fang Yuan continued to cry, saying, He Chong said last time that he couldn't marry you, and he wouldn't let me marry you smoothly. At that time I thought he was just angry for a moment, but I didn't expect that he actually wanted to kill me. Bai Ningbing's face was extremely cold, and he didn't give me a chance to react. Yes, just let the bodyguards tie me up. I won't bully you, but He Chong, I want you to taste Fang Yuan's injury. He was electrocuted by the PS5 cable, so I will also let you restore the scene at that time and let you taste this pain. I was put on the second floor terrace in a mess. There is no PS5 here, so I will throw you down from the second floor. Anyway, you won't die from the fall. And there are doctors ready to save your life at any time. Throw you down. At Bai Ningbing's order, the bodyguards immediately put me up, as easy as another rabbit. Stop, stop, two different voices overlapped, and I turned my head in surprise. The people who came were Lu Ruyan and my sister Yaya. My sister rushed over with a sullen face and yelled at him. Bai Ningbing, if you dare to touch Ah Chong again, I will no longer have you as my best friend. When Lu Ruyan looked at me, her eyes were full of heartache, but she was calmer than my sister. Miss Bai, you should have said it nicely no matter what Ah Chong did wrong. You asked the bodyguard to do this, which constitutes intentional homicide. Ah Chong. Bai Ningbing chewed on this sentence again and again, and his eyes became colder when he raised his eyes. President Lu, I don't know which wind blew you here. He Chong did something wrong, and as his sister I have to educate him well. Even if you have the Lu family's industry behind you, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. Bah, bullshit. My sister is angry. What kind of sister are you? Bai Ningbing's sister, I'm here. Even if Ah Chong really did something wrong, it should be me who educates him, and it's not your turn as an outsider. You know how much I love my younger brother. He used to I like you, I tried every way to help you, but now he doesn't have you in his heart. Don't even think about touching him. What's more, his girlfriend and I are here. Even if He Chong killed someone today, there are laws to teach him a lesson. It's not your turn. My sister is a well-known brother-loving demon in the circle at the beginning because I had a crush on my sister. She didn't care about anything and drugged me and Bai Ningbing to help us. She just couldn't bear to see me suffer any grievances. Bai Ningbing knew it clearly. She frowned coldly. Yeah, it was He Chong who had bad intentions towards Fang Yuan. She cut the power cord of the PS, causing Fang Yuan to be electrocuted and fall. If I hadn't found her in time and caught her, I'm afraid Fang Yuan would have been killed by her now. Do you think this is also a trivial matter? Bai Ningbing, I originally thought you were stupid. I didn't expect you to be so stupid. I knew you would lose your mind when you met Fang Yuan, but I didn't expect you to be so stupid that it's unbelievable. My sister's words stunned Bai Ningbing. What do you mean? My sister sneered, took out her mobile phone and called up a video. This is the surveillance video in the yard of my villa. The PS5 cable was clearly cut by Fang Yuan himself. He still wanted to play this kind of scare trick. Didn't he think of blocking the surveillance? Bai Ningbing stared at my sister. The surveillance video on the mobile phone was played back. Sure enough, Fang Yuan ran out sneakily late at night and tampered with the power cord of the PS5. The next day he pretended to say hello to me, but I was busy going out on a date that day and ignored them at all. Fang Yuan still staged this. It was a play, and then the blame was put on me. Bai Ningbing's face suddenly turned pale and ugly. When he ran to question Fang Yuan was still pretending. Ningbing, it hurt so much the doctor said that I broke 2 leg bones after the electric shock, and it will take 100 days to heal the broken bones. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of myself these days. You deserve it. Bai Ningbing's voice was cold, and he showed him the video. It was your own fault that you became like this. Fang Yuan, I thought you were simple and kind. Why did you tamper with the power cord? Why did you deliberately put the blame on He Chong for all this? Fang Yuan's face turned pale and blue. He never thought that he had clearly blocked the surveillance at the door. Who would have thought that there was a hidden pinhole camera? Now the evidence is clearly in front of him, and he can't justify himself. Ningbing, I did this for you. You obviously love me and promised to marry me, but why are your eyes always attracted to He Chong? Is it because he is younger, or because he doesn't love you anymore? What you can't get becomes better. You know how much I like you, so that night I ignored my innocence and reputation and became your antidote, but you didn't give me enough sense of security, otherwise I wouldn't be jealous of He Chong. Shut up. Bai Ningbing yelled at him for the first time, and they were both stunned. Bai Ningbing pinched his forehead irritably. He didn't know what was wrong with him. The first thing he did after his rebirth was to be with He Chong. Draw clear of the relationship and then cherish it. Fang Yuan, everything is developing according to the plan, but why do I always feel so uncomfortable in my heart? As if something is being stripped from my heart, as if I am going to lose something empty. Fang Yuan, you are too impulsive. Cancel the wedding in advance. We all need to calm down. Bai Ningbing no longer cares about Fang Yuan's reaction, turned around and left. Ningbing, you are pregnant. Bai Ningbing's footsteps paused. What? Did you say? Fang Yuan seemed to have given up, smiled coldly. The doctor just brought your physical examination report. You are pregnant with my child. Lu Ruyan accompanied me for a walk back to the ward. Just heard this sentence. I was also slightly stunned. Yes, in the previous life at this time Bai Ningbing was pregnant, but Bai Ningbing heard the news. She didn't react at all and she resolutely went abroad. She gave birth to a daughter, but left without even looking at her. I raised her with great difficulty and raised her like a flower. She didn't ask for anything, but just wanted to see her mother. But she didn't expect that she would lose her life just because she called out, "Mom." What is Ah Chang thinking? Come and try the durian 1,000-layer cake I brought you. It's freshly baked, so try it while it's hot. Lu Ruyan's voice pulled me out of my memories. I shook my head to drive out those inappropriate thoughts, and then took the neatly cut durian 1,000-layer cake from her hand. It's delicious. How did you know I like this flavor? Lu Ruyan scratched my nose lovingly. What do you like, little greedy cat? How could I not know it? Your sister is my military advisor. She has been on the same front with me for a long time. As long as she can please you, tell me all the information. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. I couldn't imagine how interesting and funny it would be to see the two of them meet and study how to please me. Don't move, Lu Ruyan suddenly stopped me. I've almost eaten the food. Suddenly, she raised the corners of her lips and approached me ambiguously. What are you going to do? You see how delicious it is. Let me have a taste too. After that, Lu Ruyan chuckled and kissed me. His kiss was gentle and addictive. The durian 1,000 layers in his hand no longer smelled good. Bai Ningbing saw this dazzling and heartbreaking scene through the glass window. In his impression, Chang has been chasing after him since he was a teenager. He called her sister. Later, when he was older, he would blush every time he saw her and refused to call her sister anymore. He always called her by her full name. At that time, he knew the boy's mind. He had been secretly in love with her for 10 years. She originally thought that he was just a little brat, but later her heart was shaken a little. Even his sister Ye could see his feelings. If it wasn't for what happened that night, if it wasn't for Xiaoyao's despicable means happening to him, maybe he would consider having a relationship with Chang and try to develop the relationship. But Fang Yuan's death made him hate Chang completely. After being reborn, he was thinking about making up for Fang Yuan, but he didn't expect that Chang seemed like a different person and completely put away his love for him. Seeing her kissing another man tenderly, Bai Ningbing felt jealous and bitter. He clenched his fists tightly, and even the veins on his neck were bulging. Could it be that his Chang really gave up on him this time? On the day I was discharged from the hospital, Lu Ruyan personally sent me home. My sister warmly invited him to have dinner, but Lu Ruyan smiled and refused. Before leaving, she hugged my waist and said there was no rush. I was busy going back to prepare for the proposal. After a while, we would become a family and have plenty of opportunities to have dinner together. Every day that Lu Ruyan couldn't see me, she would ask someone to send me a gift, sometimes a watch, tie, antique porcelain, sometimes a Yuanshan action figure, or a one-piece Naruto action figure. He always finds a way to make me smile. Since I was discharged from the hospital, Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan have moved out tactfully. Even if they didn't move out with my sister's bad temper, she would have asked the nanny to pack up their things and throw them out. Idiots like Bai Ningbing will no longer be my besties. Anyone who dares to bully my brother is my enemy. I thought he was just joking, but I didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, he would block Bai Ningbing. Lu Ruyan and my relationship are progressing smoothly. He took me home to meet the elders some time ago. Uncle Lu and Aunt Lu also like me very much. After only meeting me once, they decided that I was their future son-in-law. As the wedding date is approaching, I count the calendar every day, looking forward to Lu Ruyan marrying me. I thought I would never have any contact with Bai Ningbing again, but I didn't expect to see him again. When I got to her that night, I went out for a walk and came back. Bai Ningbing, drunk, blocked me on the way home. He threw a dozen printed photos in my face. Every one of them was an intimate scene between Lu Ruyan and me. He fed me with his own hands, carried me out of the hospital, and pushed me against the wall and kissed me as if no one was around. Seeing this, Bai Ningbing's face became increasingly gloomy. Chang, are you still shameless? You are flirting with other women in broad daylight. No wonder you haven't been pestering me recently. Turns out that you have changed your target. How come you think that Mr. Lu is younger and richer than me, so you rushed to throw him under the carpet? His words became more and more unpleasant. I really couldn't stand it anymore and slapped him. Bai Ningbing, am I so unbearable in your eyes? Lu Ruyan is my girlfriend. What's wrong with me flirting with my girlfriend? Is there anything wrong with that? Is there a problem? Besides, we're getting married soon. You and your fiancé are also getting married soon, right? We're both getting married soon. Why do you care so much about me? What's the point? The light in Bai Ningbing's eyes dimmed little by little, and finally condensed into a deep sadness. He reeked of alcohol and spoke almost in a pleading tone. Chang, how can you be with someone else? How can you marry someone else? Have you forgotten our daughter Tian Tian? In your last life, you shamelessly seduced me and asked your sister to drug me so that you could be with me. You obviously loved me terribly, but now you've changed your target so quickly. I was stunned. It turned out that he had also been reborn. You can marry someone else, so why can't I? The next second I shook off his hand fiercely. Since you remember everything, there's no need to ask me. The person you like is Fang Yuan. I didn't know in your last life, so I broke you up by accident, but I will help you this time and we won't have a daughter anymore. Finally, I wish you and Fang Yuan a lifetime of love. After saying these words, I turned around and left without any nostalgia. If it were in the past, maybe I would have suppressed my feelings. I obviously couldn't let go, but I still pretended to smile. But now I just feel calm and relaxed. Turns out that the feeling of letting go is so easy. I didn't expect that Lu Ruyan and I would get married on the same day as Bai Ningbing. Because Bai Ningbing was pregnant on the same day, he had to fulfill the marriage agreement as planned and appeared at the wedding scene. He was drunk and looked at Fang Yuan in a groom's suit from a distance. For some reason, he suddenly saw the scene of He-chang dressing up to marry him in his previous life. Ningbing heard He-chang calling her. She looked up in surprise, but when she looked closely, the groom in front of her turned into the familiar Fang Yuan again. She smiled and asked him what's wrong with him. Did you not sleep well last night? Today is the wedding we have dreamed of. You have to cheer up. I can't allow our wedding to have the slightest imperfection. Bai Ningbing listened irritably, and felt that everything was extremely boring. He suddenly understood why he had come to this point in his life. It was all because of the obsession that he didn't get in his previous life. Because of guilt, he felt that he should compensate Fang Yuan. But he forgot that after the fire in his previous life, he had actually allowed He-chang to enter his heart. No, I want to find He-chang, I want to tell him. The MC was still presiding over the wedding. Bai Ningbing suddenly threw Fang Yuan away, turned around and ran out with the wedding dress, kicking over the door before leaving. Seeing the bouquet on the roadside, Fang Yuan's face turned pale. Bai Ningbing, do you know what you are doing? You can't leave me. But no one answered. Seeing the bride disappear without a trace, the guests at the scene immediately talked about it and pointed fingers. They all said that the bride was forced to marry. Could the rumor be true? Look at how ugly the groom's face is. They all said that they got married because of pregnancy. It was the groom who drugged Bai Ningbing, so they were together. Unexpectedly, the bride would really run away from the marriage. Fang Yuan was furious. He couldn't accept it at all. He was abandoned at the scene by the groom. He chased out like a loser, but he didn't expect to encounter an out-of-control drunk driver, and was hit on the spot. Fang Yuan, lying in a pool of blood, watched Bai Ningbing close the car door with his own eyes and drive away from the scene without looking back. The hand he just stretched out fell down weakly. When Bai Ningbing broke in, I and Lu Ruyan was exchanging rings when her voice suddenly rang out, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Bai Ningbing's face turned pale, and seeing me wearing a gorgeous dress to marry someone else, he finally shed tears, knelt down in front of me, and begged me to turn back step by step. I was wrong before, I was blind and I misjudged my own heart. The person I love has always been, can you give me another chance, okay? I still want to watch you marry me and watch our daughter be born. This time I will definitely not go abroad. I will accompany you and our daughter well. Before I could say anything, my sister suddenly stood up. This man is a psychopath. Why is the bodyguard still standing there? Throw him out. The bodyguard immediately threw Bai Ningbing out, and the scene continued. I looked at my sister with gratitude. The wedding was a complete success, but someone at the scene still recognized that the man was Bai Ningbing. Unfortunately, his appearance at the wedding caused dissatisfaction among the Lu family. For the sake of my reputation, my parents-in-law directly bankrupted the Bai family. A year later, when I saw Bai Ningbing for the last time, he had nothing and was as miserable as a beggar. He even had no home. Without the decoration of money and power, Bai Ningbing no longer had any temperament at this moment. Instead, she looked like a miserable and down-and-out female tramp. Even the child in her belly had unfortunately miscarried in the debt dispute. My dear, get in the car. I bought you and the baby's favorite durian 1,000-layer cake. I took the initiative to open the door and carefully helped the pregnant Lu Ruyan into the car. She retracted her gaze, smiled and kissed me on the cheek. Thank you, husband. When I looked over again, Bai Ningbing had disappeared. Perhaps our fate has finally come to an end. This is the best. The end.